Hey guys, welcome back to Boho Jewel on YouTube. So I'm going to pop these out of the tray and show you. These are the little alcohol inks that I played with yesterday in a video, so I will link that in a card in case you didn't see that video, and I'll try to link it at the end of the video as well. So flipping it over, you can kind of see what's going on there. So I'm going to start with this one, and this one I had filled the mold with resin, let it sit for a few minutes, dripped a few bits of alcohol ink in there, and then just dripped the mixative in. So I'm going to pop this one out so you can see how that turned out. It's a little bit soft still, probably should have waited a couple more hours, but you can kind of see the effects of that. And of course it's not super shiny when it comes out of these plastic molds. I have to put a coat of glaze over it for it really to shine. But you can kind of see where that, just dripping that mixative on here, it did end up, some of it did drip down, and it's still a little gooey. So that's why I say when you use that mixative, it's going to sink, so you really want to be cautious with it and not put too much, because that's how I ended up with these stuck in there. And now you can really see the back sides of them of how much mixative is in there. So I have a feeling they're glued in pretty good. So there is that one. And now this one, I dripped the alcohol inks in, just a few, and then once they sat for a minute or so, dripped a little more resin on top, which pushes the inks away and creates this really pretty lacy effect. So you can see that. So you can see the difference there. I think that turned out really cool, and I like that it has this very very natural flow to it, very natural feeling to it. So that's what that ended up turning into. So, and then I just layered the resin over top and separated it, so it creates this really pretty blooming effect on the piece. And now this one I did the same thing. I added some of the resin over top of the inks after I had poured the inks already, and it does the same kind of thing. So it just separates it, and it creates this really interesting kind of, you get some really interesting dark colors out of it, some really deep, rich colors, I think. So really pretty, and they all look so much different once that glaze is on there and it shines. And now this one is the one I showed you with the little swirl, where I did the inks, and then I took the mixative and I just put a little bit of mixative on the end of a pin and just swirled it through. And there it is. So you can see how it created that dimension inside right there with that swirl. Isn't that cool? It's fun. It's just very, it reminds me of images that you see from space, right? There we go. So you can see how that one worked. So that is how those turned out. And it's really amazing when you put the glaze on top how much of a difference it makes in bringing out the colors. So I think, just to show you, and I use this triple thick brilliant brush on gloss glaze, and I'll just show you the difference it makes, because it really does make a huge difference. Let's see, this one needs probably the least amount of cleaning up on the edges. Let me just brush that on. And it's just crazy to me how much that just brings out the colors as well. Yeah, so now you can really see it. You can see all the details in there even better. Is that not crazy? How much that glaze makes such a huge difference. And it's not dry, obviously. It takes 12 hours for it to dry on the glaze. But that'll help coat some of those places as well where maybe it's a little sticky. Alright guys, so that's it. So I'm going to finish those up. I'm going to trim the edges and file them down. And that's it. I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know if you try some of these techniques or if you have some of your own. I'd love to learn. Thanks. Have a great day, guys.